Today I hadn't done nothing on the Ford. Um, I tried to put some stuff up on um, Facebook to sell. Nobody's purchased anything yet. I showed you guys the promos last week of some stuff that I was trying to move to get some money. Um, so I'm still waiting on some um, a way to get some supplies put back in here. Like I said, a lot of this stuff I got to do now is going to be off the camera anyway on this project. But keep them with the theme. Keep them with my theme for Trucking Thursdays. I got some neat stuff in this week. I got some pretty cool stuff in this week. Um, I haven't done a reveal, but I reveal on it yet. But um, I did get some neat stuff in, and I'm going to share some of the stuff with you guys today that I got because it is related to trucks and it's something that I could stay in response to my Trucking Thursday build videos. All right, so what I have first is my good friend Pete from Scaled World. Um, he's been, like I've showed you guys before, on the 350Z project and on the um, Scaled World Subaru project. Pete's been learning 3D printing, and he's getting. You should see the difference between this first truck I show you and the last truck I show you. You can see a huge difference in him slowing the printer down, making sure everything because it involves slicing, that stuff I'm not into, or it's stuff that I have no knowledge of. So you got to do your 3D modeling, you have to do your supports, you have to do your slicing, you have to do your scaling and all that stuff. Well, some people are just unboxing something and printing stuff, and we're not getting really good prints out of it. I've told you guys some of the conversations I've had with a couple of the other people in the hobby, and that's why there's a few people in the hobby that are selling 3D printed stuff that are very trustworthy. You're going to get your money's worth. But I want to start off with this neat little truck. It's a Suzuki mini truck. A lot of people in the United States, I should say, had picked them up for, say, like salvage yard running around. I've seen them in salvage yards. I've seen a lot of them on, in my part of the Midwest. We have some tree farms that are around me. There's one to the east of me about 6 miles. There's one to the west of me that's just about 2 miles down the road. And on this little tree farm, they have these little Suzuki mini trucks. Um, bigger than, they're bigger than, let's say, a Razor or Rhino that people use for off-roading fun, ATV fun. Um, but this one here is a Japanese version, and it has a full body kit. Pete got this file online, um, but it disappeared real quick. So not many people got the file to print this. I've trimmed it up a little bit. This right here had some, if you can't see, it has some bowing, some warpage, and Pete sent this one to me to see if we can save it. So far I glued all the I mean, it's not together. These pieces fit. Like I said before, the way Pete is learning the printing thing, even with this being warped, like you can tell it's really warped bad on this back chassis plate and some of the under chassis stuff, but it's not glued together and it's fitting. So him getting his sizing right, because you have to dial in the thickness of the sides and stuff. Um, with him learning all this stuff, man, it's getting so much better because this right here is not glued together. Well, the body kit is glued together because I had a piece in here was broke during shipping. But I glued it all together, and I glued all the body stuff together to kind of bring the warpage down that way instead of me trying to paint it and bring some of the warpage down. One bad part is I did break the floor, but it sanded so smooth. I like this resin, Pete. If you're watching, this resin sands like butter. But this thing is so well. He's got all the fitment right. Like the stuff all comes apart, and you couldn't even tell that it's not glued together. The way he's gotten all the sizing and the fitments right. And as you can see, he's changed all his supports. Nothing, the supports, I had to sand that seam, but you could tell there's no supports on the outside. He's getting all the supports hidden on the inside. But dude, this truck is neat. It came this floorboard. It came with this section here, this section here, then the cab, and as you can see, it come with the chassis. I like it how it's already all printed together. You ain't got to worry about getting your wheelbase right and stuff, so I like that. That's just pretty neat. The front end section, that's just got some dust in there right now, but it's solid and neat. Stig, it is a really neat little truck. Pete, he told me who, I didn't write it down, guys. I've been busy. My Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl, so this week there's been parades and stuff like that. So I didn't get time to actually sit down, and he sent me the information on who had the files, but sadly, they already pulled the file, and on this truck. And I don't know if Joel ever offered this one. I know Joel's offering right now the little bike, like, look, it's like a little 3-wheeler drift bike, and we already got the key car drift from Black Box. I was just telling Pete, maybe I build a trailer on this one. Dude, Brian Nelson went too with his boy. It didn't look too packed when Brian sent his video. It didn't look too packed, but man, I still wouldn't want to been down there, John. And then it's got the cab. What's neat about all this is, like I said, the fitment. Let me back up. Pete told me who printed this or who made the file. It's already offline. For some reason, the file's not up there right now. Not to say that they're tweaking something, but we'll put this together in a minute. Like you guys seen a minute ago, it was put together. But it comes with, I told Pete, even though it's got the big body kit on it, I still think this right here would be a good weathered up shop truck, because that's why I see around here a lot. In Japan, they actually make a whole show series out of these. There's a lot of these custom ones done. Oh, well, you can't see the motor, Stig. On these here, the motor, if you look, the motor is actually under, it's all under the seat. So if you look at it, here's your transmission, and your motor is going to be right here. It's going to be like the early Dodge. Shrink the top, John. It's got a kind of funny angle, though, brother. Last time I listened to what you said to do in the comments, we end up with a whole nother 350Z project, brother. That's coming down the road. I'll show you all the cool stuff that I got this week for the 350 too. But Stig, with it being in the middle, I think the only way you'll be able to see the turbos is we did the turbos clear out here. But I didn't want to make this a drift truck. I was telling... well, maybe with P already having the file with this, if we could figure out how to keep it from bowing like this, being kind of like sagging, it's not really warped. It's more of a sag, more of like the print is this way instead of straight. That's why I call it a sag, because It had a miss short here, but it's okay because I sanded it. I made all this gap here smooth and work. But what I was telling P is, instead of this being a total loss, that we'll paint this up and do like a shop truck. I'll put a Scaled World decal on the door because I have some Scaled World decals. And Brian White, if you guys don't follow him, Lazy Modeler, he sent me yeah, see, Stick, I don't know nothing about that. But Brandon sent me a dolly, and it's really neat looking. And you guys know how I like to use um, my rubber tires instead of these printed ones. So what I was telling Pete is we'll make this like a shop truck where I could put these are the tires that came with it. This right here was a full kit, and I'll show you guys everything in a minute. But I'm saying maybe put the tires in there, put the dolly in there. We can put some other stuff in the back of here and make it look like a weathered shop truck. Not pristine, because you guys can Google Suzuki mini truck, and in Japan, man, they have a whole series of custom ones of these. I like it without the bed cover. I think looks cool. If we just did something like this and then some straps, make it look like the tires are being held down. Guys, why Stig is in here? If you guys don't follow Stig's channel, go over there, hit his link, go follow his channel. He does a lot on Facebook too. You'll see him on my Mr. Mini Dreams page. He posts a lot. Right now he's doing a old weathered Shelby straight axle drag car that he's working on right now. And so Stig has lots of good content. A few months back he did some really neat custom like witchery books. I don't know how else you would say them, but he took stuff from the 3D printer. He took stuff from hobby shops and stuff like that, and he built these like book casings. And he's made some real life size human mask, and all his model cars show some great detail. His imagination is nuts when it comes to this hobby. Back to this Suzuki though. So it comes with the floorboard. It comes with the floorboard, and the floorboard it's just plain underneath because basically there's no real motor. It just gives you the motor detail. But if for some reason, like John and Stig had mentioned, if you wanted to put a motor in here, it gives you the room. It gives you the floor room where you would be able to cut that out and put that in there. But the seat design really runs it. Dude, you're an inspiration to me, Stig. You have been for all these years we've been partners on YouTube, brother. But it comes with the floorboard. It comes with, let me get this down a little bit more for you guys. I'm really glad I moved my camera a couple months back. But it comes with the seats. And that's what I mean. When you buy this print, $22 print, it's cheaper. Well, you got to already have the printer and you got to have the resin, I guess. So I don't know what really makes it cheaper, but it's pretty neat because you could build this as many times as you wanted. But for like I think this was $23 for the print. It comes with the everything I'm showing you guys here. It comes with that, and then it has the console, which is pretty neat. I told Pete, I'll show you guys some of the other stuff he sent. I wasn't expecting this one to be this enjoyable. Got a neat little steering wheel. It's got a whole dash. Look at that whole dash section. And it's not really detailed on this one, but it gives you all the elements, so that way you could detail it. Like me and Stig, if you guys will follow Stig, we find a lot of good usage with, say, watch parts could use for the dials. And other stuff. Stig likes to hand make a lot of his stuff too. But look at that nice steering wheel, good distance. And then it all, man, it all just fits together. Even with it being a not really great print, man, it just, that's why I tell him, Pete, over the phone, you ain't lying, Stig. Um, Guys, on my Facebook page, he'll be under Bob Marino. It's got headrest, and what's neat, these are the headrests for the seats, and they're actually, the way it's printed, it actually has a section, don't know if you guys will be able to see that, it actually has the impression and the indents right there, and right here at the lower part, so that way you could put the headrest in, and when in, they set, see if you guys can see it, when they're in place, they set like that, which I probably won't use them, but they could be used somewhere else for something. And then what's really neat is it comes with, the headlights are separate. Oh, that's the wrong side. The headlight situation is separate. They still need to be sanded to fit. So that way you could do all your painting, and you can make these if you wanted a chrome bucket, a regular bucket. I'm thinking of cutting them off here and molding these into the body, and then just having the headlight bucket itself. So you'll get 2 of those. You get a radiator. Even the mirrors are cool. And who can say that about mirrors? The way it all prints and stays together. How many times have we tried to put a mirror on and we have a hard time because the way it has the indentions and stuff? You can put the mirrors on. It's going to be easy fit. So they'll stay on there like that, Obviously, we'll glue them on, but the fitment is so good. All right, and then it comes with a rear diffuser. It comes with a radiator. It comes with a really neat rear thing. So if you do put the rear box on, because this right here is like along the Drift series. So let's move some stuff out of the way. So if you do put the box on, and you want to use the box, it comes with a really neat rear diffuser wing. You put them there, you put that there. They're all separate brackets. You'll put them in there like that. And then you got this rear wing that goes on there like that. This right here is just a very quick mock-up, guys. But I thought that was cool. Just have the whole thing a motor. And it has these really neat side pieces too, that you put on, and it angles, just rear wing, and it comes with the front. It will come with the front diffuser too, so you put it under here. You'll put it under there, and that's thin enough. You see a little warp there, but it's thin enough. Once you glue it on, it'll be flat. So that's really cool. But what I like about it is too, once you get everything put in place, and on the inside, the print on the inside shows all the door panel stuff. So you get your door handles, and then you get your armrest, and it has the indentation around it, so that way we can put plastic windshield in there, and it won't set real far back, that it's actually thinned out. If you can tell right there, it's actually thinned out. But you get this really neat rear drift bumper. So you put that in there like that. And then this goes in there. And then it's got this rear drift bumper. Like that. So I was thinking, if we make this a shop, if we really do make this a shop truck, I have some extra lights from a couple other Ford pickup truck builds that we can make our own tail light section to the right here. And then in the middle here, probably put some sheet plastic. I was thinking sheet plastic like here. If you can see the bumper, put some sheet plastic in here like that and use that as like a step, you know, to get up and down out of the bed if need be. And it came with these really neat, I like these snowflake wheels. Where's the other one? It must have, no, I got 4 of them. I was playing around with woolen tire combos earlier, so I probably got this one missing somewhere. But it came with these really neat, good looking wheels. You got 2 different depths of the wheel. You got a skinny, well, they're both staggered, but, and the whole kit came with all that. I'm missing a wheel right now. I probably picked it up and put it in. I'll look for it. I just got a whole lot of crap out right now. Oh, here it is. I found it. So yeah, the whole set comes with the 4 wheels. Now I'm trying to want to put a different tire on them. Here's the back. They already got the pegs, you know, in there. And here's this is the front. Okay. Yeah. You got the front. You got a back. Then, like I said, right now I don't have no tires on it. But you can see it's going to be a cool looking little dude right there. So instead of having the big thick resin tire on it, I'm going to make my own little thin low profile tire for these. So that's that one for Truck Thursday. Really like that. So I told Pete that I didn't even get to take pictures of everything, like a layout to start well, see, that's stuff I don't know nothing about, Stig. I don't know, and I know you have to place the supports, you know, in different spots. Oh, but I forgot to show you this too, while the chassis is in there. When you put this on here like this for the rear bumper, like that, it has a diffuser. So that way the diffuser goes in between the axles, the axle springs, and sets like that. So that way when it's all done, you can have the rear end all set up like that with the rear diffuser. So I thought that was pretty neat. I'm going to put all these parts back. And I'm going to show you guys the next thing I got for Trucking Thursday. You know, some of the people say it's too much money. They'll just buy a regular plastic kit, or I'll buy this kit from Joel or someone, you know, when they start printing 3D stuff. Some stuff, like if you guys follow Iceman Collections, some stuff is very limited. I know Chris Freeze, I know his stuff is limited. A good friend of mine, he don't sell anything, but Chris Dutton, he is starting to print some stuff off even just for himself. And the time, I think, you know, like Pete was saying, yeah, for the downforce. Like Pete was saying, you know, some of the stuff prints 27 hours, 28 hours. You know, and that takes a lot of time of your day. This is the floor. The floor fits in there. You can see inside there. Because I have some prints that were $125. And all you get is the body stuff. It don't have none of the interior. The hoods are shut, you know, so you got to build your own chassis, or, you know, get a kit to do the chassis. So some of these stuff that these guys are selling, even though they have the file forever, it's the time that it takes to print. And so They are also model builders, so that's why you see some of the stuff go high. Well, you bought this print for $25, and now you're going to charge me $100 for the kit. We got to take in consideration setting it up, making sure, like me and Bob are talking in the comments, making sure it has the right supports. Just because you get the file, the support's not always right, because you could have a print base this big, or you can have a print base this big, and you see the difference. More stuff is going to fit on this, so just one common support won't work. On this, if you had a base like this, you could print this probably just like that, straight up. But then a small base like this, you ain't going to have the room, because it needs rooms to print. So you're going to have to, do a print like this or something. You know what I mean? So it all gets different in there. And then, it might take 3 hours to print this box here. It might take 40 minutes to print this right here. But then you go to get the cab could take 8 hours, 9 hours. So the time investment, the time, how should I say it? The time occurred is at a value too, because I won't go to work and say, hey, I want to unload 7 trucks, you give me $100. Because I can't tell you how long that truck's going to take to unload. I could either make money or I could lose money, but my job gives me an hourly rate. So basically, they are taking in consideration cost of the resin, cost of the time, cost of the packaging, because these bags ain't free, and some stuff is worth the money, some stuff is not worth the money, but that also brings limitations. If Joel was selling this, or if Chris Freeze was selling this, you got to grab them while they're there. They might only do a run of 10, a run of 20, or something like that. Just because it's making money doesn't mean it's profitable, if you guys understand that. All right, so the next thing I got for Trucking Thursday, that's the Doom Buggy. I got my hands on one of my first show trucks. In the late 90s, well, I guess it was mid-90s, I actually had a Nissan hardbody mini truck, and it was charcoal gray, slammed to the ground, full of subwoofers in the back. Man, it was a lot of fun. So I got my hands on one this week, and we'll do this for Trucking Thursday. It came with a chassis. It's not hollow, it's not solid, so if I wanted to put a motor in there, I could. That's the details on the floorboard. You can tell these are where the supports was, but that's no big deal. This is going to be slammed to the ground like mine was. It's got an interior bucket, which is really, really decent. One thing that I would wish different would be that the shifter was separate, but on this one it's printed in there. But it looks strong enough. It didn't take no damage in shipping. I like how the armrests are open. You can see through it. They're not solid like on a plastic kit. I would say this is a little bigger than 1/24th. If I was to tell you, it's not quite 1/20th, but it's not right on point with being a 1/24th or 1/25th. So in my opinion, it's a little bit bigger. So you got that. And it does come with, it doesn't come with the headlights, but it does come with the blinkers. They're really small. I'm going to leave them in the bag, but I'll be able to show you. It comes with the open grill. I like that. It comes with the real factory bumper, which I'll roll pan it like mine was. Mine was a 90, and this right here is a newer one. And there's the front bumper. Even the front bumper is open. They fit great. And this right here, so right now this was no cleanup. Oh, I'm not going to make a fool of me. It fit a minute ago. It's like bricklayer, and you got to make sure it's just right if you guys have ever laid cinder blocks. But it's right there. Good fitment on that. Love that. Mine had a billet grill. So if I want to redo mine, yeah. And so on mine, I didn't have the vents in these bumpers. Mine was a solid bumper, and on my grill, I had the billet in the grill. I have some photo etch from Detail Junkies that I might be able to do the billet grill. Mine came all black, and then I updated it to the chrome. I worked on it a little bit here, a little bit there, and that was some of the treatments that I did on mine. As I, changed all the black to chrome. It's got, here's the little blinkers. It'll come with the blinker separate, and then it comes with the side mirrors. Are printed really good. You can see where you can see where we can get the chrome foil in there to make our mirror reflective in there, and they fit good too to the body. You guys can see that they'll fit good proportion there. And then the tail lights. A lot of our prints, well, let me stop what I'm doing. I didn't get the factory chassis with this. Here's the bed is separate. I broke this, I thought it was a separate piece, like for support, and and I realized that it was supposed to be there, so I broke that. But it does have the detail of the bed, the front and the back. This is the tailgate part, and this is the cab part. And I thought that was supposed to be broke off, but then I realized real soon. But what's great about the resin, this stuff is 3D printed in, it super glues and sands together really good. Now with the tail light, a lot of situations we're getting into 3D printed stuff. 3D printed stuff. A lot of people don't use clear resin, so we're not getting clear lights. But Pete sent the tail light inserts too, which is good about this print. I know Joel was offering this truck for a few prints. I don't know if it's still out there. So I got these. What was good about this is I could either do it factory, or they're the same resin that the bed is. I could glue it in there, sand it all off. And I can do the Cadillac tail lights that was really popular. On my truck, it had Nissan in the tailgate right there. It actually had the words Nissan up here in the tailgate. And before I sold my truck, I was going to cut it all out. And I was going to put I was going to move I was going to move this handle, cut the Nissan all out, and put it here in the middle of the tailgate, and like shave the door handle. And then I wanted to put the third brake light in there. But I ended up selling the truck and went all downhill from there. I bought a Malibu and put hydraulics on it and tore that shit out of that car. Hydraulics and showing off didn't end well for that car. That's another story. But what I did get is I got a frame. I went ahead and got a C-notch frame, or a full bag frame, basically. Well, let me back up. So the kit of the truck is that. And then it comes with the factory Nissan seat, which I had buckets in mine and a homemade console. And then it has the Nissan dash, and then the a factory Nissan steering wheel. Oh, it's upside down. And what's really cool is that I believe Detail Junkies actually has a photo etch set for the 70s version of the Nissan pickup truck, or Datsun pickup truck then, that has badges that say Datsun Nissan on them that I'm thinking I might have to order and add to this truck, because it's got dash detail and gauges and stuff that we could put in here that fit the Aoshima kits. If you guys know what that 720 Datsun pickup is, by Aoshima, it's already slammed to the ground and it's already got body flares and stuff like that on it. But he made a photo etch set for that. The difference is on the front end, it's got little headlights. It's got 2 little headlights instead of the big ones like the 80s and 90s did. So let's put all this back in there. Yeah, Stig, I love this truck. Just not only just to build what I had when I was younger, but also just because there's not a lot of mini trucks out there. We get the same old prints over and over. I would love to get an 80s style Ranger, Ford Ranger. My dad had one. It was lowered. It was pro-streeted. Late model 5.0 Mustang motor in it. It was just, it was a beast. But anyway, I didn't get the factory chassis with this kit. I got a chassis. They dropped Datsun in 1984, and they all became Nissans. This right here will be like the 92 version. It'd be like the 92 version. They changed the hoods. They changed the whole front end. The whole body style changed in 88. My first one was an 88, and my last one was a 90. And between 88 and 90, they changed the bumpers. They changed the look of the grill. They changed the hoods. Some hoods will have vents right here, but the newer ones didn't. And then the grills are different. If you want to look these up, these are D20s. These would be D20, and the older Nissan pickup trucks would have been 720s. So this chassis that he sent me is spliceable. Here's your center section, and it's already got the cups, the holes where you can run your exhaust. And you got your K-frame is what they call it, because it looks like a K. So they call these a K-frame. And then you got your rear section, your notch, whatever they want to call it. They got that here. And what's good is the Nissan floor fits really well. You know, you're going to have to do some sanding and stuff, but it all going to fit really well when you get in there. And then right here's the center section. Of course, you got to know, I want to send all those supports and everything out. Then you got that. Yeah, thanks, bud. When you get home, watch the other video. I got one more kit to reveal that we're going to use on Trucking Thursdays. What I liked about this kit here is in this bag you have, it's a lot of parts. I'm not going to pull it all out. Even on this section here, this broke off, but I have all of it to fix back. But it already gives you the battery tray to where your batteries are. And you get, here's the 2 Optima, or the 2 battery styles. Most people use the Optima batteries. I will paint these yellow. I have Optima decals, so we'll put those on there. They set like that. It has the gas tank. It has the third member. And the third member, it's really detailed. I'm going to have to build my own supports. But it's got this thing here. Look, it's got a counter. It's set up for cantilever, meaning it pulls it to lift it up and down, and then it comes back like on shocks. And that's pretty neat. It's really detailed. It's right here. It'd be good for just printing a bunch of these out for Pro Street, or, you know, just regular car upgrade. This is a great looking rear end. Then, like I said, this whole thing here it's a bag chassis, suspension, and all that stuff. The air pumps and the air tanks are a little small, um, but that's all could be custom made. It actually got a real good rack and pinion that came with it. Some really neat print on this one. So I got that chassis instead of the factory chassis for this one. I told Pete that I'd probably get some. I'd probably cut it off right here. When mine was lowered back then, this wasn't the style. It was basically a C notch. That's why I said C notch at first. These right here are called basically a teardrop. But I probably cut it up if I want to make it more like mine. I have to box it off up here. It wasn't rounded like that, and it only went up enough to where I could put. It only went up where instead of my truck setting like this, it set like that. It set right on the rim where I could tuck the tire. I could still turn. Of course, these are 20s, and my truck I had 17-inch. Back then, we're talking 96, 97. 20s weren't a thing yet. But a truck coming out with 14-inch wheels with 17-inch wheels and lowered was badass. Me growing up, we didn't have bags until the mid-20s. It was either hydraulics or you were on Beltec lowering blocks, or you were straight dropped springs, and that's what I was on. I was on the straight springs. Alright, now this last one is just a beast. Pete did a hell of a job on this. I knew at 1 minute both Joel at Iceman was printing this, and so was Chris. But I don't know if either one of them are printing them now, but Pete got the file, and it is the Dodge Durango, guys. Man, this is going to be a beast of a build. Got a little bit of cleanup, but man, I didn't find no warpage on this one. It's almost like kit plastic for you regular model builders. I got one little level issue right there, but it plays in so well because it's perfectly on both sides. It's going to be an easy blend, and if I can't blend it in, I can use it for a paint job. It's that fine. I mean, I see it because of I don't want to say being a perfectionist, but being a body man by back trade, I can see it and feel it. But man, to the naked eye, it's not bad. And what's lucky, it's on both sides. Pete had made the comment that you could barely feel it. It's the Hellcat version. So it's got the custom hood, which I would have preferred it just to have this hood, but it's got the custom hood. I like the layout, so it's going to let me make a plastic window for it and lay down like it should. It should be, I think this is the Hellcat Red Eye hood, John. Because I think the SRT-8 is just the scoop, if I remember right. Man, our trucking Thursdays are going to be busting. It came with the wheels. I've already added my own rubber tires to this one, but it did come with the wheels, and it does come with resin tires. But I put rubber tires on it. I still don't know if I'll use these on this build, but I'm definitely going to use these wheels on something because they are sick. It come with the interior tub, and I don't know why though, but on this print, everything looks great, except I'm not liking the shifter. Again, it's a shifter that was molded into the print, and it's little. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to just snap that off, and I'm going to put a hydraulic shifter handle in there. Um, I may just get rid of that and make the shifter a dial shifter. Some of the new cars on the console, it's a turn for the shifter. Um, then here's the chassis. These little parts here hold the wheel mount holes, which is pretty cool. But here's the chassis itself. It's all boxed in for airflow. My new Kia Optima, I bought brand new in 2019, and that car is built the same way. It hides everything, and you have to take the panels off to do the oil changes. You have to take these panels off here if you want to, like, um, say I went to the tire shop. I'm going to put all 4 new tires on it. You have to take the chassis. They call it a flange, but basically it's just covers. The same with the rear end, the exhaust. You can't, if you looked under my car, all you see is this. It looks like gray felt. Don't even look like plastic. Is all underneath my car. But interior sets on there. Interior goes right into the body at no issues. Dude, some of the detail in this right here. Let me show you. Oops. That's not important. It's got the exhaust tips are dope, but for me, I'll put metal ones on. But if you look at it, the chassis has the exhaust tips on it. It's like made into it, and then these right here fit on it. And right there will fit on it like that. Oop, like that, get in front of the camera. So that way I can chrome plate these, or, man, Bill, if you guys don't follow, Scale Stacks, Bill Koff on Facebook, he just did a really good video on airbrushing exhaust heat. So right there would be a good thing to do on that. Here's the wheel mount things that come with this, so you could place them. You place them right on there, and that way you can have the mount to put your wheel on. It does come with the brakes. John, I think, look at the brake caliper and got the brake disc. Now, John, what year is your Dodge truck? Yeah, John owns the Dodge. He just bought a new Dodge truck. He has an older one too, that I can use for reference when it goes to making sure all this stuff is color coded right. Here's the rear tail light section. Is really good too. It fits in there like a beast. You put that in there. You got that right there. Wish my camera was better. Man, that fits in there great. And then it's got, I can sand the grill open if I wanted to. Because it's thin enough. I could see the discoloration from the light and being solid. And then here's the bumper. So that way when you put these in, move my camera up a little bit. That way you got, once I sand all the support brackets off, that goes in there like that. And then you got your grill will go in there like that. And then the flat enough, I don't want to push this in here until I sand everything and make the right gap. It gave me all the headlight details. That way all I got to do there's that. Put all these parts back in here. Yeah. And what's cool is I believe there's a couple of decal companies out there, John, that have the Hellcat image that we can get, so that way I can put the little Hellcat badges on the side. And then here's the interior. So it's basically another full kit. And I think again, the Nissan print, the Nissan file was $25. And this kit here, I believe, is $25. But here's your third row seat. I was taking the headrest off because I'm going to make mine without the headrest. But it does come with the headrest, even for the third seat. Here's your two front seats. And again, I'm going to take the headrest off, so I left one on to show you guys how it comes. And I'm going to round my seats off. I just think I'm going more of a custom look. Here's the whole dash, and it kept all the touch screen and everything. Your gauges for your temperatures and stuff. And then oop, I didn't clean that off. And then your steering wheel. Then your steering wheel. So if you had a printer and you didn't want to work for anybody else, you just wanted to print your own stuff, this right here is probably I'm gonna roughly say $25 for the file. You got, I think he said he has about 40 hours in printing this altogether. You know, I know the body itself was 20 hours. Then you got a bunch of other parts that he had to print. So I might be wrong. It might be 30 hours or it might be 40 hours that it took to print all the stuff just for this Durango. And then, you know, your resin's about $20, depending upon what severity of resin you get. You know what I mean? So, but once you bought the file, you can build as many of these as you want. I was telling Pete that it'd be neat that make a 2-door one and bring the door right about here. Then it'd be easy just for me to make a whole window, or to make a truck out of one. You know what I mean? I would cut it clear down here like this, and then just go right across where that sunroof was, and then make this back here bed. You know, because once you have the file, you can print as many of these as you want. So let me put some stuff back up. But yeah, this right here is going to be a super cool build, John, just so you can see it with, I'm going to mock it up with the wheels and tires. I don't know about purple, bud. I'd rather do it your yellow, if I was being honest. But I do love these wheels, man. And they fit, and I got Aoshimi tires on them. So that way there can be real rubber instead of the resin ones. I forgot what I did with the tires for that one, Pete. I know I have them. I put them in my other, oh, they're up here. Alright. Put all that back. Alright. Now, so I would say probably about, if Pete paid himself $10 an hour to print this, you know, that's where you get your $100 for a resin. But look at all the stuff he gave me for it. You know what I mean? You get a lot for it. If you guys follow Black Box, it's not part of the Truckin' Thursday, but I got the Bad Buggy off of Black Box this week too. Now that we shared all the Truck Thursday stuff, I'll go ahead and show you that. It's just a dune buggy, but man, it come with a really neat motor. It's just a big dune buggy. It come with wheels and tires. This whole frame is separate. The whole motor is separate, and it's got a turbo on it. I know, Bob, I'll share this one on a Workbench Wednesday thing. So that's really neat. I really like that. That's why I got stuff out, put it up. I'll show you guys a few things. All right, get that put up. But since John is here, here's the 350Z. And we had started that a while back. And with John's urging of me to cut the back open, we ended up cutting the back open. But this week, we got a louver set in. It's right here. This is from Black Box for you guys that are following that have a printer. This is from Black Box. It come with the rear louvers, and man, that's going to be sick on there. You guys can't see that. That's just going to be awesome. So I was half tempted, now that I got this, I was half tempted to glue the back window in place, because right now I got on very short hinges and they're kind of hard to deal with. But I'm half tempted just to glue the window in place, give me a longer bracket, redo the hinges, and give me a better support, and just glue this right to the glass. I also got, pull the camera down. I also got a wind diffuser for the roof. The little bitty piece like that. And it'll go right there. I got the shapes. It'll go right there like that. And it still won't affect the way the roof opens. And I got some side vents. I think they're a little small. So I don't know if I'm going to use them just yet. Because I think they're a little small. But they show a little bit more of the window than I would want. So I might use those. I don't know yet. I might use those. But we got that. I'm going to be patient with this one. Because I got so much stuff for it that I keep wanting to stay true to the 81 kit. I got some stuff in because I didn't know how far I was going to manipulate this one. I think since this one right here is a rebuild for Pete, that I think I'm going to kind of stay with the same routine that he had when I first got the one, because almost all the other ones I rebuilt for Pete have stayed along his original theme, and that way when he gets it back, he has a true before and a true after, with just me highlighting some things. So I don't think I'm going to change a whole lot, but Pete did send me a whole nother 350Z body kit. It's got a whole nother wing. It's got a whole nother front end diffuser. It has this whole new front bumper attachment piece. It's also got a new front end, a new rear end. See, let's get these matched up. This is this side. This is this side. And then they have new center pieces. So that way, I'm going to move this off to the right. So that way, if I was to use all this, you basically have to use, and I don't want to mess up the 81 stuff, because they're no longer in business. And you can't get this kit no more. But you actually got a whole new body kit, so I'm thinking might try to find another 350Z and then build just another full custom. But what I was thinking of is he gave me this diffuser, and the diffuser that came with the 81 set, where did it go? The diffuser that came with the 81 set is actually plain. So if you put it on the car, see what I mean? That hatch comes off so easy. I'm going to redo those hinges. So if you put this on the car to be the full 81 kit, it's like this and kind of plain. But I'm thinking about using this set because you put it on the car and it looks a lot better to me to finish out the look of the car. Because we emphasized the vents right here, and we emphasized the vents on the hood, right, when we were working on this one. So I kind of want to, so I think I'm going to use this diffuser out of this set. But what's cool is I got a second diffuser too, because I also got sent the rear turbo stuff, and I'm probably not going to cut this car up, being I wanted a good rebuild for Pete. So I'm thinking on the next 350Z, we got this twin turbo set up, and I kind of thinking you can cut this up and put it in there like that using the factory bumper, but I don't know. But what happens with this set is it actually comes with a rear bumper delete, and then this turbo setup slides up in there like that. Oh, John, it gets better. And then if it got this bumper support in there like that, and then it's got this other diffuser that sets up in there. It's got this other diffuser that sets up in there. So if I use this one diffuser on this one, we can use this diffuser on the next one. But I really like that. The turbo setup's cool. It's got a good exhaust setup on it. And this piece here is separate. It mounts up weird, but good. So you got just this. And when Bob was talking about turbo in the Suzuki truck, look at that. We put that on the back of the Suzuki truck. Little truck would flip over. And Pete also sent me, we got some Zoom On Nissan decals to put on the car. And we got a carbon fiber. And this one here is called a forged carbon. You can see the carbon print right there. We'll get that printed on. I was thinking, I don't know if, since we did the louvers on the hood, if the hood would look right. I mean, if I can get the decals laid down there right. My idea would be to paint the hood black, and then put the decal. Don't try to get the decal down in the vents. Do the decal around it somehow. Never used a Zoom On decal. I know Studio 27, some of the decals sometimes work, sometimes it don't. So I like the Fair Lady and Cursive ones. I think I want to put on these, because if you guys don't know, Datsun, Nissan, Fair Ladies are the Z series. Then look at this. This is a chrome grill, and we can put that in here to fill out this open. Where's the camera? I blocked the camera. And get that, put a grill in there. This grill put in there. He did send me the Zoom On fin rear shades, but I'm thinking this is, it says a 350Z, right? But I'll show you guys. I was telling him yesterday that I think this is meant for a different car, because it is really small. It won't go to waste. We could use it somewhere, but I think it was meant for a different Z, because see how we're all good and rounded all through here, and how wide this window is, and then the shade came like this. It's super small. But I have this other 3D printed one. This one here is resin, and this one here is 3D printed. And I like it so much more. It actually really fits well with this design. So like I said a minute ago, I'm half tempted to redo the hinges on the 350, glue this into place, glue the window into place. Still, I'm still want to, because even look, you can even see through it. So I don't know yet exactly what I want to do. So, but like I said, I think, oh, and this right here is what I was waiting on to move further on the hinging of the hood. One, I wanted to do the body work to the hood, which is done. But I got, Pete sent me the cradle. And I got to sand it to fit. But I'm gonna put it in there in a way till I could still use the regular chassis. And then I got to get this fitted in there. That's why we haven't been doing much more onto this. I got it fitting where it will fit in between the headlights and the custom front bumper, but there's a big gap right there still, and it wants you to cut the chassis in half and glue the chassis to this, but I want to sand this right here to fit that curvature, and I think I want to keep the factory chassis stuff there. So we still got some work to do, but that'll be on another video.